Platform 31, we really wanted to call it just Platform, didn't we? Because we knew at the time when we were setting up, we wanted to create a platform for ourselves and for other people. So we just wanted to call it Platform, didn't we? But that was gone.
Company's house said no.
We're like, So we were 31 at the time. So literally between us, that's all we could think.
We were like, what are the things that are similar between us? There were so many things we cared about, but because we didn't want to put a label on it of like, we're going to do art, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. It was like, no, this is about a starting place. So we're now Platform 41.
It's funny, I remember at the time thinking, 31, that sounds new. It's like 10 years now already.
But do you remember when we were looking at it as well, there were like so many funds for start-up businesses, and it was like, young people are classed up to the age of 30, and we were like,
no, you're late.
Literally the company name.
There's no hiding from that.
Yeah, space to bring people together and to see who they want to be and what they want to do. And that's not just been about the projects, but that's the people we work with and the way that the team have grown as well. Because we do have lots of freelancers who go out and deliver for us, with us, alongside us. But we've had to grow the core team, haven't we?
We have
project assistants and coordinators and, 6 of us. And that feels like a lot of people, actually, when you book in the Christmas dinner, and we need a bigger table. But it's interesting why people want to work with us as well, when we do those call-outs. Because all of those roles as well have kind of evolved as the work's evolved, so...
They have, and we didn't really expect to evolve like this either, did we? One of when we set up, one of our intentions was that we essentially didn't want to become doing like big delivery sort of projects, did we? We wanted to work more deeper in a way on the projects that we were doing, because practice is very important to me and you. We want to have our hands in the soil and be a part of it. We don't want to look after people, essentially. We didn't want to grow a beast in that way, a traditional way of hierarchy-based sort of participatory organisation. We really still wanted to be doing, I know it's doing work, but we wanted to be involved in the work that we were creating. So in many ways, we could have grown much faster, I think, than we have. But we didn't want to set up a delivery organisation, did we? So, but in response to some of the delivery being, we was caring about it so much, we have grown in some ways that we didn't expect as well. And we're working with a great, team who does that work on those projects with us.
Yeah, and people are coming from completely different backgrounds and stuff as well, like professional backgrounds, and finding, whether it's like the peopling side or the fact that you don't really know what's going to happen in the project, month to month, because it depends on how the community or the schools or the young people kind of tell us where things are going. It's really nice to see people being attracted to that, because there's something for me, it's quite gently disruptive and quite gently radical in some of the work that we do, because we won't deliver shiny things. So if you want to join a team where you've got your whole year mapped out, this is not the team for you, because the work needs to respond. Like, that's the whole point, the whole essence of this. And if you know exactly what you're going to be doing in 9 months' time, then you're not doing it right by our standards. Do you know what I mean? In terms of the way that Platform 31 operates. So seeing people being attracted to that different way of working has been really joyful as well, to see the appetite for that, because it is quite disruptive, especially in a world that's really busy and everything as well, and people want certainty. There's a lot of horrible uncertainty in the world some of the time. And so to have some certainty in exactly what you're going to be delivering, I get it, but it's just not, like you say, it's not the most efficient way, but it's also not the way that has kind of those rich change-based practice experiences, relationships in there, which people call impact, but I think that you don't see impact for years and decades to come, actually. Often you see a change, a difference, a shift now. And it's quite sad in a way that can feel quite disruptive, going, do we really know what's going to happen, or can we just try something? The work that we're doing on our business plan that will be going forward, it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be really thematic. It's going to involve colour and, you know, all your senses. I think there's going to be smells attached to it. It's going to be, you know, like, because it's not about the hard and fast, we will deliver this here, or we'll develop this programme. It's about the experiences that we want to have, and the ambition is about the experiences and the change and the shifts. And what that involves is what we'll figure out when we're in it. Can't know that stuff now.
No. It's all the work of like, what's your project going to look like when it's finished? If you're doing a co-produced project, you don't know what carry bags are going to rock up midway through a project and what treasures you're going to find. So I can talk to the why and the how we're doing it, but actually that's the beauty of what we're trying to do, isn't it? And it's the same sort of thing on the ground in the projects as it is to the strategy of this. The important foundation stuff, that's what we need to be talking about and what we should be focusing on, not getting lost in those things that you think are important when actually they're not. Yeah.
And the reality is that we've never under-delivered. And some of that you could say is in the skill in what we say that we're going to deliver from the start. But also the making sure there's space in our, you know, the methodology, basically the way that we're doing projects that allows some of that other stuff to generate as we go. So already on our early years music project, this is our second time round with some funding. We're working with the 3 nursery schools in the first year, and we've brought 2 new schools in. There's so much difference in those extra schools already, and there's so much opportunity for like skill sharing and knowledge sharing as we go through it. But just last week, in some of the training sessions, more schools came in because the 5 that were in it are so passionate about the work. They're telling their mates, and they are rocking up. And I'm going, yep, we've got more tiny chairs in our tiny classroom for you to come and sit and be a part of this. But that wasn't expected. But now that school are sitting there saying, we don't do anywhere near as much music and sound as we'd love to. We've come here because we're really open. Can you come and talk to us? And I had an email on Saturday from another nursery school going, I've seen the Loop project, how can we make our nursery more creative? And there's no way of knowing that. And also, I'm not going to set out those metrics from the start of other local settings will want to come converge around this, because that takes my attention away from the 5 that we're working with and the children and their families. That's the priority. And if we're thinking about scaling out before we've actually done that initial work, then that's taking attention away. But it's happening naturally. So already that's like, okay, so where are we going to be beyond August then when this project finishes, and where's that? And a couple of other services have come around it that want to join in as well. But there's no way of knowing that from the start. But we've made enough space to be able to, for people to come in and go in, it's fine, we've got more tea, you can have 2 extra chairs, you know, come and join this session. And that's the elbow room that's so needed in this work, I think, whether it's in schools or in communities or...
Yeah, to make this thing inclusive, isn't it? Because you can... Yeah, when you're starting out too, if you're just living to outputs or them expected. When you're working at the speed of trust, you just don't know what's going to happen. It sometimes takes a long time, slowly to begin with, and then a domino effect just happens, and then you're struggling to keep up. And it's that, isn't it? That balance of, I find, the start sometimes takes a while, and then it just catches fire, and then that's just so beautiful in that. But yeah, you can't planning for that on a time frame. It sounds lovely when you put that in a box of, but you don't always know until you're in it.
And it's only just occurred to me, actually, the way that you framed that when I see that working at the speed of trust, which we've written in so many different pieces of work that we do, I always think of it as in the slow go side. They're like, you've got to work slowly and get in step with the people that you're working with and work at their tempo. But actually, that's also true of the other end when things start to
Meet them where they are, because if they're excited, you don't want them to disappear. It's like, this energy is incredible. Let's run with it now. So it's just meeting them where they are. Yeah, and sometimes it can take a while, and other times, no, they've gone. They're over the hill.
Snowballing
chasing
downhill.
after them. Chasing after them. Here's some knitting needles for that project. I found these next door and I'll pass these on. Yeah, great.
I'll get back to you on the wheres and wherefores. Just give me a minute. Go and get some funding, keep it going. And I think that's a big part of our model as well, that keeps it moving forward, but also is in the now, is that all of our projects dovetail into each other in one way or another, whether it's people are signposted onto other stuff, whether it's, and in a really meaningful way as well, not this project's ended. If you go 5 miles down the road, you'll find another one you can join. No. Whether that's kind of all the different spurs that come off a main piece of work and people wander down different routes, whether that's things morphing into different pieces of work or different subgroups and them going off and, like saying, learner to leaders, that's kind of on its own now in a way that could,
Yeah.
And I think it is a real skill that we've got together in the way that all of this work has grown and the way we communicate what we're doing, that we've got funding support for that work as it grows and evolves, and we're always feeling in the now but with a mind on the future, so that there isn't just an end point to this work, because the relationships don't end. So we have no interest in stopping, some of the conversations that we're having, which means that we've done a lot of volunteering. We've done a lot of volunteering work when there's gaps in pieces of work, but there's always kind of innovating within that, thinking, how else can I work with you, or how can I signpost different opportunities into that particular resident action group or school or whatever, just to keep things ticking, rather than just turning the back and going, that's done now, see you later. Which is, again, counterintuitive to the way that the sector set up, the way that things are funded to a particular time frame. It finishes, the impact is left, step away. But that's not the way that humans operate either.
No. I mean, yeah. And this is it, isn't it? When things are just built only around like sort of project delivery whilst they're on. If you care, that's always there, isn't it? That's the thing.
So, 10 years in, the team's grown. The team of freelancers and all the beautiful people in the community that we work with has grown. Our relationships, that network, that stakeholder mapping, if you like, or just the web of people in your phone book has grown. The portfolio, like the track record, the like different ways of doing things. We never repeat stuff, but we definitely take inspiration from things that have worked and that haven't in the past. So like with all of that behind us, without going down the route of becoming a beast, as you call it, like the big organisation and that chains us to a desk where we can't get out and have fingers in the soil and stuff, like how do we grow this thing? What's next? Like, again, growth as in growth, not as in like lots more of stuff. I think there's something around the practice for me and how we want to explore those shifts and changes that can happen, but not always coming from us or even from our immediate team of people that we're working with. There's something about how we explore that with others and understand more about what that might look like in their community or in their work or businesses. Or
I think in some ways when we started out from day dot, because our logo came from, It's yellow because it was a dandelion.
It was.
And we used to have a little picture of a girl blowing the dandelion seeds, didn't we? Because we knew it's yellow gives us energy, joy, the dandelion. But actually, we've always wanted to support others to do whatever they want to do in their area as well, or in their practice. So.
And I'm so curious about what other people see in those spaces, like in terms of their own development or community spaces or the needs in their area or ways that they might approach something in their school or their whatever nursery, whatever it is. Because I'm always so aware. I know that we're kind of a united front on lots of stuff and as an organisation, but I have two eyes, like I have one way of seeing things, and that's based on, we believe so much in lived experience, how that informs, how you don't let go of things and where you've been, you take them with you, and that can be helpful and unhelpful at different times of your life, perhaps. But so other people see other opportunities and ways of doing things, and actually to have a dialogue around that, just thinking about it's not about just pushing out. These are ways of working with your community, or this is what co-creation in working class history can look like, or anything. It's about let's have a dialogue and see where you want to take this. So that thinking about where we could go, how we can carry on learning always and finding different ways and going, that's fascinating, that's worked really well in your space. I wonder if we'd trial it here or we wouldn't trial it because we know that these things wouldn't land well or whatever. But with people, I think is fascinating.
It is, because context is just so important in everything, isn't it? And it's just so important to be working with people about things that they care about in their place. We're lucky that we've got some funders who I think are really supportive of that, and it makes so much difference to our work from all of it, because it can be very exhausting, such a drain on resource, time and energy when you spend the majority of your time having to justify things for a few people, crudely, when you're not putting the time actually into the community. I mean, the refuge work with women that we went on to build, we could have done it we did it at so many refuges, and there's still obviously a massive high demand for that. So developing, supporting a workforce to do that, that's where At the Kitchen Table programme came about as well, wasn't it? To support creative practitioners, to get them essentially ready to work in refuge.
And again, that was about convening though, wasn't it? That was hearing from refugees, they want more of this sort of work, hearing from artists that they'd love to work in that kind of space, but the hesitancy or the I haven't got the track record, and then us thinking, well, as the in-between, we don't want to bring people into a space where they might not be. And then that whole training programme, paying artists to come onto this training programme, all the practitioners delivering stuff. It was convening of them. Yeah. There were people who worked in refuge or refuge staff themselves. There were theatre makers. There were people talking about safeguarding. There was a proper mix of stuff. This is the reality of what some of these women and children have been through in the systems, and the restrictions and the opportunities of where they're currently at. But also this is where creativity can bring the magic, and how might you explore your practice thinking about this environment. And that's, again, not about us going, we have the answers, come on our training programme, we will train you in the way. No. This is about, let's see what happens when we bring 18 people together who want to work in this environment. And now knowing, and like we have done, we've commissioned so many of those artists to come into refuge, and they carry on delivering packs remotely, creating new work, or coming into the delivery team and coming into refuge where we are every week, every Wednesday and Thursday, we're in refuges. It's that's brilliant. But having the space, that was Arts Council who supported that development programme, to pay the artists to come in and to pay us to explore this programme, and just, you know, a relative drop in the ocean, but what that's created in terms of value for participants and families, but the artists themselves and the partners, it's brilliant, you know. And it's those kind of programs, I think, when we can invest in bringing the different threads together and go, what if we explore this and see what comes next. So we are here now because it's been 10 years.
How?
How? 10 years of this, of going, what's tomorrow bring?
It feels like yesterday, but then I can't, it feels like forever as well.
Well, even the escape room we did in Leicester, that was amazing. It was a part of Christmas. That was just you, me and Lisa. So that would be at least 4 or 5 years ago. And how many people have been along? So we used to invite the board along, and then we've had Jollies with freelancers. There's no wonder it feels like forever ago, because just what we've done in the last month has been, well, this year, we're now in February.
No.
Already this year. You've been in a church doing brides.
We've done brides. We've got our recipe project coming out.
Yes.
I'm not sure where we're going with that yet. We'll have to see what the community want to do.
I love that. It's been really fun proofreading that. I just feel like I just flirt in just when all the heavy lifting's been done, and I just get to see all the wonderful work and go, oh yes, it's pretty, and just do some of the proofreading bits. But some of those stories, I was speaking to Ian about it. I was like, Ian, I know lots of things about your big commute. What was it, 1.3 miles between the villages when you used to run the butchers? And then he just went and just told me loads about it again.
Yeah, it's been incredible just learning about how people just, made food happen. And just like the technology that kind of evolved from someone making that in the shed, the ice cream, through to the war of when they had very little. So it sounded a bit more like definitely a lot of ice in the ice cream at one point. Through to them having a fleet of ice cream vans, you know. Yeah, it's very special to be a part of it. And getting to celebrate that through local recipes, how people lived really, not these... I mean, don't get me wrong, we've got some beautiful recipes that are hundreds of years old, that have been passed down through generations, but there's something around just the social stuff around seasonal stuff, so people going scrumping.
But that's mad that that's like the amount of depth in what will look like an online recipe book, a flip book, or there'll be a printed version or something, and the amount that's gone into that one piece. And someone quoted us the other day, and I think you heard it first from, was it Paul Steele, that like 2-inch wide, 2 mile deep stuff. And if you think in every like postage stamp sized project, it all shoots down the caverns beneath of all of the stories and the ways that it's all come together. And that's one of the projects. It's not even a project, it's a project within a project, a sub-project that you're working on at the moment.
It's everything that goes on up to the point of us releasing something that can be more tangible and shared. All the hours that goes in working with the community to make these projects happen. There's so much thought and care and gathering wider, and then obviously we can only show so much of that, so decisions do have to be made, and then we get to creatively produce that, often with professionals, to bring that to life. And that's where the beauty is a real like iceberg. Most of the hard work happens before we bring sort of creative professionals to get involved, and then they help us bring it all to life, which then we can share, and then hopefully we'll preserve for future generations as well. But have a lot of fun in the process of doing it.
And it's the making stuff as well, isn't it? Because I think there's so many, I feel like there's a lot of beautiful contradictions in some of the community work that we do, because it's not about making stuff, things to show off, or events that are big and shiny. But it is about making things that last, which some of that will be going into archives on the history project, but not in our participatory stuff. Sometimes that's people taking something home and put it on the mantelpiece and feeling, and it being a nod to, oh, I did sit and, you know, learn something new. But also there's a lot of, like, it's temporary, it's in the moment. But that is the longevity piece, you know, like, because like Brides, for example, that was there for 2 days in the church, gorgeous installation, and like the Heritage Weekend where you filled the community centre with all sorts of things, weird and wonderful and magical things, and things turned up during the weekend.
In carrier bags.
In carrier bags.
And got displayed as the exhibition
Quick,
was
write
on.
some inserts, stick it on the table. It was great. It was brilliant. But if you miss that weekend, you get the messages, don't you, of like, oh, I was away, I can't believe that, I missed that, or I didn't, you know, like I wasn't able to come this weekend, but it's the momentum that it creates, which is not the tangible thing. It's not a permanent installation, or it's up for a month in the whatever, but it's that's where the snowballing for me comes from, and that's where some of the contradiction is. It's like, well, we do make these things, but like you say, it's a part of such a long process. That one weekend, although that's the outward facing bit, it's actually the drop in the ocean to what the whole piece is.
It really is. It's all the relationships under that. And I mean, we're so lucky that Greater Creative, it's been going for like 8 years now, more. And so, I mean, the local residents who govern that and have been on that journey, some are a little bit newer, but most of them have been involved now for like 7 years. And what a pleasure it is just to work with the community so closely, and us to, work hand in hand, making decisions with residents. It's not just about them either. That, you know, I mean, Learn It's Leader, for example, which is part of, obviously, our Greater Creative work and beyond. They've got their whole little island where they get to decide what they want to do and how they want to support younger children in the parish.
I think we're still trying to figure out, aren't we, how to articulate that facilitator role. Because you do it in a lot of our community stuff, and we have brought other people in, freelancers, core team, kind of dipping in, supporting, working it, and we're still working it out, this whole thing. 10 years in, still working it out, let alone the individual projects or the practice elements of it. And I think there's something in that, like, still trying to figure out how to articulate, like, the importance, like how much, I haven't got the words, almost how much the facilitator role brings into a space, so a room with young people who are wanting to decide what to do for the whole day provision, or with residents and how they want to shape some of these stories, how much they bring in, but equally without taking up space. It's really weird. I'm sure you've got some kind of sci-fi reference, but that kind of, like, because without it, it literally is kittens, just, or people getting bored and wandering off, and loud voices get louder and quieter ones don't get heard, but there's no ego in it, that facilitator bit. It really is holding that neutral space. Yeah, and how to articulate that and really make the argument of how important it is. And as a practice, it's something that a lot of people need to build in themselves and be really willing to, like, shift what they think is going to be said completely out of their head and really listen. And we're still trying to figure out how to articulate that role, because that seems to be what kind of underpins so much of our work. And you literally embody that in the community. It's a bit harder and faster, isn't it? It's like there is a role here, there is a person convening these meetings or whatever, or supporting these groups. but it still feels a little bit like Latin water, like the buzzword co-creation goes around and that's fine, but everyone does it differently.
They do. And like community first or community-led work happens so well in different ways. But I do think there's something really different about it when you are there for your actual place and the people within it, but it's not about your ideas. It's about supporting other ideas.
This shot is beautiful because all these colours are really.
How important do you think it is that, I say you in this instance, but just generally that you as a person are a resident of that community, like you are based in it, not just, yeah, I'm from this city or whatever, but like actually, no, I live on these streets.
I think obviously I'm biased, so
Yeah,
it's.
I'm interested in you.
I'd like to think that if I were working on a community first project somewhere else, that I would have a lot to offer and facilitate and bring them same sort of principles of giving people power and agency basically to do what's meaningful for them in their community. So I don't think you have to live in your like village or whatever to make that happen. I don't. But I think there's definitely a difference for me in Greater Creative is because I've lived there all my life. I care about it and I feel deeply connected to my landscape, my community, and I think I'm always going to be there. So I don't feel that this is ever going to go away in how I feel about that place and the people. So I think you invest a different part of yourself, and it's never been about, for me, wanting to grow my ideas in that place. It's about how we can do it together. And when you've grown up in a place like Blackwell Parish, it takes a community to raise it. It's not just down. Don't get me wrong, you've got your movers and shakers who do a lot of stuff, and they're absolutely incredible linchpins to making things happen. But there's just skills and talent, and it's so overlooked all the time. I mean, this I guess is an idea, but the amount of comedy in Blackwell Parish, the sense of humour. This
It's
just
wicked.
I'm not joking. It's dry and it keeps me going. And often when I watch stand-up, it's just not funny because when I pass someone on the street, I'm not joking. It's like, well, they don't even know they're funny. But there's just talent in just their skills, their attitudes, and this grit. And some of it's just so untouched, and you just take it for granted. That it's so nice to bring opportunities for us to spotlight whatever that is in whatever people want to spotlight, because it's just there in abundance. It's just really special to be a part of just working with them people in this place.
I always think there's so much poetry as well, just in the way that people speak. I know there's like local dialect and stuff, but also like the references. And it is wicked funny, some of it. But I always think it's so poetic, some of it. It's so funny.
It is. I mean, a lot of people, obviously there's a lot of new people in Parish as well. But some people have been there forever. And I think some people as well intend, a bit like me, like they just imagine that is them. And I just, for years, just thought that were normal. That people felt like that about the place, but actually a lot of people don't. But I think it's quite common that a lot of people in parish do feel like that. So it's kind of like, well, if we're all staying here,
Yeah, let's do something.
how can we work together to do great stuff now and for the future? Yeah.
I think that what makes it, on one hand, really understandable why there are so many different strands to our work, because it is like an extension of us in terms of the things that we care about individually, but together as well. But also why the idea of going, oh, it makes business sense to stop doing that or to do a bit more of this or whatever. But it's like, it's the heart as well as the head as well as the hands in every conversation. It's not just...
And because it's grown beyond us as well, isn't it? I think there's been a bit of a domino effect. And some things have really ramped up that we didn't expect. We started out as, oh, it's a little seedling of a project. Let's have a go at like learn to leader. Let's go in to listen to some kids in a youth group and see what they want to do for a project. 10 years on, third generation in, young leaders are now doing a whole holiday provision. and that started out just having a listen, what do you want to do? Yeah, we'll put on some activity for kids locally. And it's wanting to see them continue, isn't it? And,
yeah.
And people wanting to see them continue. They want to be involved. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? The hope is that we'll get to a point where these things will take new life and they won't need us in some ways. You want to make yourself redundant in a lot of this work. That's the hope. But at the minute, there's quite a few monsters.
They're growing.
Well, they're growing, yeah.
They're snowballing. But like that, the Learner to Leader, you know, that was one of our first projects. So we set up. We text each other and went, what are you doing? I don't know, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're as lost as me. Should we sit down next to each other and be as lost as each other and see what happens? And decided to do something together because we knew that we worked well together. We had done for like 8 years in Leicester. We knew, so there was a lot of knowns in that way, wasn't there, of like, okay, I know how you deal under pressure. I know the things that you care about. I know, you know, like the quality in terms of the qualities of the work that you want to do together. And I think that must be so hard when people think about setting up a business or a group or anything. It's trying to find people who are interested in the stuff, but also work in a similar way, but in a way that doesn't replicate either, that brings something different to the partnership. And I remember having those conversations, and then just kind of sitting and us kind of doing that thing of like, right, what's our thing? It's that goldfish thing that you used to talk about, like, what's the thing I'm taking home from the fair in my bag? What's the... And then going, there isn't a thing. We don't want to deliver. We don't want to just do art. We don't want to just, you know, like, it's not about the things. It was about the how. So let's centre that then. And that power and agency thing has been there from day one.
It really has.
Which says a lot, I think, because not even in terms of a tagline or having something to, kind of hang everything on, but actually that feeling current. And always feeling current as well is massive.
And every Christmas dinner, having the pleasure of trying to explain to people what you do. I even had some sessions to try and help me, coach me. What is your job? All right, how can I put this in a lift pitch? No, still can't do it. No. I think maybe now I've come to deal with it like the goldfish thing. I think maybe if I can say what my job is in a lift pitch, then I will have failed, because we'll no longer be working on the how or the why, Because when you start doing the what, it's very easy, isn't it, to say,
I sell pencils.
yeah, I don't want to sell pencils ever.
So we went to soft play with our tiny golden girls. Goldie was
Just 2. She was 2.
2. Marigold was a few months old. I was like, let's put her in the some pulpit, see what happens. Goldie's just covering her in balls, so that'll keep you both occupied for a little bit. Right. Let's have some of this dodgy coffee. The soft play cafe.
Yeah.
What do we want to work on? And the social action, or was it called social action project? What was it called? I'm saying youth social action, but I'm not sure that's right. It was something similar. At the time, there was a tiny, like a few £100
It was tiny.
to basically pay for pizza, to bribe kids to come and sit with you in the youth club.
And have a chat, yeah.
And have a chat. And I was thinking about it when you were saying about Morris's ice cream, because that local legends project that they came out with. So am I right? So they sat there and they were like, we're never listened to. Council came and asked us about the park. Da, 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 da. No one ever does anything we say anyway. And then it was like, what do you want to do? Well, I want to show adults that we do care about them. We are basically good residents here, just as good as them. We came up with that local legends project, which I tried to articulate in a partnership meeting the other day, and I was like, I can't describe
No.
Frank. I can't go there.
I know.
So I was like, oh, I'm having so many feelings. I'm going to start sobbing, and everyone's going to look at me like I'm bonkers. Because every time I think about it, I go there.
I know.
And this is 10 years ago.
Well, yeah.
And that local legends project led to, right, what do you want to do next then? Like, well, we've done something for the adults. Let's do something for the little kids. They have nothing to do around here. Let's set up a...
Yeah.
And that's the Learner to Leader project that's now still running, 3rd generation. You've got people literally knocking on your front door asking when their kids can become a leader.
Yeah.
Because they've been through
They
every Easter,
participated, yeah.
every summer. It's just a part of their story.
And this is it. Our Wings on Tour, the first lot, were so incredible. So in touch with all of them. But I'm so excited. Every generation, I'm just like, these are amazing. This is the thing, like, the ideas and imagination of all the kids. It's just so, every time, it just don't get old. Just being amongst that and their ideas. It gives you so much energy getting to work with them to bring their ideas to life. So yeah, we're on the brink of having a new generation. Like, that's crazy. I see the older ones now where we've got children of their own and getting married and stuff, and I'm like, ooh, I'm getting old.
I was going to say, I don't feel that old, but we must be.
Yeah, we are very lucky that we get to work with so many different talents, as well as obviously working with whoever we're working with at the time and bringing those together and just seeing what magic and chaos can happen in a beautiful way.
That's big part of the methodology for me, is like, it's that ongoing thing. Relationships are ongoing. They're not, the project's finished now, see you later. It's always iterative, isn't it?
It is. It's always moving. And that's why we've never had, obviously this is our home of where we come to meet.
Our safe.
And visit. But in community we don't have that. That's in people and relationships, isn't it? It's not in, we like to use lots of different physical assets and change them up. I mean, can't believe like last year we changed a football changing room into a photography studio. And I think that's the beauty, isn't it? We use what spaces are available and we flip them where we can as well and make them home using what is there rather than us trying to create a house in these communities and bring people to it. We know that it's about working with the people in their place, wherever that may be, and seeing them spaces different. I think there's something in us making the decision not to have a physical space in Platform 31 that we are essentially bringing people to. Obviously we use this space, don't we? But it's not taking, and it's the same with the practice. That changes project to project, like the foundations of making sure that power and agency is flowing, that's the key thing there. And also never always having like the answers, but looking for the questions. We've got principles that stay in everything that we do, but who we're working with, that depends on what's needed, really, and what magic they can bring to whatever we're doing.
And I think like there's something in like how agile that our model needs to be able to be genuinely like meeting the needs or the opportunities of the group of people we're working with, whether that's in convening schools together around some of their culture education, or working in community on heritage, or working in refuge, kind of thinking about, okay, so these mums and kids have told us that this is something that they're really needing at the moment. They're temporarily housed here. They're, you know, like the systems have changed slightly. This is something we need. And us thinking about, so what could a project or the team around, what could the contribution be or the offering into that space? Like, you've got to be so agile with that. So having so many freelancers, and we've probably got about 30 people that we work with regularly, freelancers, all local as well, which I think is impressive, because in our rural area, where there isn't a creative hub area, closest we've got Sheffield, we've got Nottingham, but we've had to find these people, and that's why I think like the Creative Women's Network's hosted here, and we use it for a couple of training spaces. We literally press all the desks against the walls and create the space. But there's something about saying, do you want to come into my house and sit on my fluffy sofa? Which is about creating a bit of a home for it. But yeah, having a fixed team of people who are always delivering, or are always managing projects, or are always on the meet and greet or whatever, like it's, that feels a little bit stifling, because like you say, sometimes you need to mix and match, you need to find the right layers there, and the opportunities for everyone to grow through it as well. It's not a transactional piece of like, you come and deliver this, right, then go. It's how can you be a part of the growing ecology, even within something that's quite a small project. And that's also where there's a lot of extra labour as well, a lot of extra workload. It would be a lot easier to just make things.
Yeah, it's not the efficient way to do anything,
It's not the efficient way of doing it.
But we don't do things by efficiencies, we do things because we try and do them because they're right and authentic.
Unapologetically authentic.
Yes.
One of our principles. And it is that, isn't it? There's something about measures, like what do you measure things by? Funders have to measure certain things. You know, 80% of our work is grant funded. Commissions are great. Can be a lot more responsive, and sometimes that's people asking us to do stuff and sometimes us offering. But, you know, funders have to answer to someone, whether it's the public or the government, whatever. So they have to have certain measures. But when the measures is about the practice and the longevity is around the relationships and the trust building and all of that, that feels so much more aligned to what we've learnt in communities when you think over 10 years what it's taken us to build. So being a really small team that doesn't have a building that needs to be filled with activity, or that everyone has to get to as well, because access is a massive thing, and a team that can flex. I mean, we've grown. It's not just us two anymore.
We have.
What was it? Was it our 4th year? oh, this is bad. Lisa would be telling me off. She is about details.
Was it about? Was it about 6 months before you went on mat leave? I think.
Oh yeah, that was great.
I think.
That was 4 years.
I think.
Yes.
Well, it might have been a year before.
4 years before kids.
Lisa, yeah,
Between
Lisa.
kids.
She feels like part of furniture. I can't imagine. Yeah, but yeah, she come in, didn't she? And we changed her working days within like the first week, I think.
No, second week.
Oh, second week.
Second week. We got through 2 days. So I think at that point, it wasn't just about me going off on leave. It was realising that we were having more opportunities come our way because of the work that we were doing, which was great.
Yeah.
But also appreciating how important the holding of a lot of the logistics and like the operational stuff is to enable the artists and us and communities to be able to do their thing, you know, just to be able to show up and be themselves and not have to worry about all of that other stuff. You've known Lisa for a very long time.
I did. I know she's very good at coordinating many things.
But with care.
But with care. Yeah.
And not in a smothering way either.
In a mothering way.
In a mothering way. A mother that wants you to be independent and to
cool
go
mum
off.
way.
Yeah. And live and grow. Not to always, need to know all the details to be able to do her bit. So I think she started 2 days a week. And after the first week we went, you've got a lot done in those 2 days. Can we have you for third day?
Oh, by the way, you're coordinating Often Fest for your first project.
Because we've just got the funding through and I'm going on maternity leave, so...
And Civic Change as well, the biggest programme we got.
It's only 4 years, you'll be fine. Welcome! But this is something that happens though, isn't it? Just when it this is the iterative stuff. So it's when something happens, it's like, oh, now this creates this opportunity and this creates this opportunity. And when you've got the trust in the people around the table, you can take those leaps, can't you? We talk about we jumped off a cliff kind of holding hands 10 years ago and went, let's just see what happens. How much is your food bill? This is how much my electricity bill is. Right, that's how much we need to earn a month. Let's see if we can do that. This needed to be our bread and butter as well as something that we really cared about. So bringing Lisa on to be able to support the work that we were doing just felt brilliant, and it always has. Like, it's just, I mean, she jokes about having a job change every year. I think she's had one for 14 months now.
She has. I think, yeah.
But again, that's like, as they grow, but not in terms of more stuff. It's depth as well, isn't it, and complexity. And
It's luckily we don't have to change our job titles often, really, because
no,
we wouldn't do it anyway.
that would be terrible. That would be terrible. Having Lisa with us, kind of with her real operational and care head, and then you with the creativity and so much practice in you, whether or not you'd done it yet at that time as well, like that growing stuff.
Yeah.
And then I really enjoy the development and like, oh, that's the seed of an idea and I can craft that into a project, and then going, wow, that can be something that we can bring investment to the area. But it's all overlapping in all of those spaces as well. It's not like clean cut. Yes, we overlap with values, but we can also cover for each other and, you know, like, and do some of that stuff too. It felt so strong from...
It did. It was very special. It is very special. All the time, the holding hands and jumping off a cliff together. I think that really sets us apart, I think, from a lot of people. And the fact that we're still holding on now, sometimes. Mainly cliffs, sometimes. But it's something that doing it together, and it that really brings strength. Because we work with a lot of amazing, incredible women, a lot of sole traders. And I don't know, when you do stuff together, you can be, I think, braver and lean on each other a little more, which is, in many ways, where lean on came from, wasn't it? We recognise around us there are so many amazing women, and so many of them are going it alone. So Lean On kind of came from some of that, wasn't it? I was recognising that commonality and the difficulty of being a woman.
And we still hear it now, like, it can be really lonely. And I think because I work things out through speaking, I remember sitting on a spinny chair, revising for my physics GCSE and just like talking it. My sister being like, stop being so noisy, it's so boring. Because I was in the room next to her, I was like, no, this is how I learn. But so I kind of took for granted that the way that we talk things through all the time is actually a part of that like community and some of the foundations of like the way that we work. I think I kind of put it in a box of that's just the way that I process things. But actually then thinking about if you're working on your own, whether you're running an organisation or you're kind of, a freelancer artist with a studio in your garden, or even if you're part of a studio in a city in your shared spaces or whatever, your practice, your work it's solo. It's a solo pursuit, isn't it? And some people that works really well, but it's always nice to plug into others who understand a little bit. And it made me really sad how often we hear that story of no one really gets it. No one in my family is doing this, or like I don't know anybody else who knits for a living or whatever, and that how it's so undermined, and such a lack of interest in understanding what the opportunity is and like how it's such a big part of people, and that's something you like to do, rather than this is a creative pursuit that you're doing and it's great that it's got a contribution to blah blah blah, whatever it is. So I think the Lean On thing I think is interesting because as a programme it is about peer learning and it's about being a part of a community and learning from others, but it's also about developing yourself. And you're always with you. So something I was saying the other day which sounds bonkers, but it's for me, I'm like, no matter how many outfit changes or postcode changes or whatever reinventions you have, you are still with you. And if you are carrying like depths, caverns of self-doubt, and your inner critic is raving all the time, and you've never really stopped to think why this is so important to you that you haven't stopped yet, then that's a really lonely place to be in. So actually spending some time to understand a bit that it's not just you either, everybody else has got this stuff going on. Everybody else has. And to hear other people's experiences, so it allows you to lean on yourself and what you know about yourself and go, actually, I've got an inner fan as well as my inner critic. My inner fan is going, I've been doing this for years, so I've managed to get through these life experiences or these changes or these unexpected things. So yeah, of course I can manage to do my accounts at the end of January, whatever it is. But also lean on each other to be able to say, you spoke really clearly about that. Could I just talk to you? Would you mind, like a walk and talk while we're both on our dog walks or whatever it is, to just be able to learn from what other people have experienced in the tips that we've got, because we've all got tips and tricks, but often people don't realise they've got it in them because it's just their habits that they've formed. But actually, when you voice it, someone goes, "That's a great idea." You're like, "Oh, that's just something I do." And in so many corporate models, especially in America and stuff, you have sponsors. You have, it's a very formal structure of people have sponsors to support them up in the next stage of their career. And especially in the freelance sector, there's just nothing like that. No. You might have mentoring for short bursts, but actually kind of having people that you can call up and speak to. And we've had loads of that. And I think because we used to work in a city, there were more opportunities for that sort of stuff. And even when we first set up, you need 3 directors to set up a company.
Yeah. I was thinking about that just the other day, and how much, you know, support we've had around us as well. Something about that's coming back, isn't it? You know, I mean, wow. Jo, bless her. Remember I used to come up and see her, and it's so... How good was it to get Jo's experience and her support?
Yep. And
she believed in us.
She really believed in it.
Yeah.
And she was just like, you need a 3rd director to set up. I believe in you and Jodie in the work. I remember I was walking around my car in a car park at the time. Marigold was asleep in a car seat in the back, and kind of pitching it to her a bit. And she said, I really believe in you two. You don't know what the work is yet because you haven't begun. I will help you begin. I'll stick with you for a year or 2 and then see if I can be useful and how I can support. But again, that was based on a relationship. That was based on her going, yes, I will support you to begin. And that's all you need sometimes, isn't it? Just that first step up.
It really is.
And our board members are great. And we've got some that have been with us for a long time.
And that's grown as well. Yeah. We have a lot now.
We do. And people who come because they want to learn about like place-based practice or how to scale impact or relational work. 'Cause we're doing things differently. We're not core funded. We're not looking to grow in a way that is about ends up selling pencils. We're not in this big entrepreneurial track of, and we're going to sell all these things eventually. We're going deep all the time, and the fact that people are wanting to give their time to the board in that way, I think makes a big, big difference. Oh, it's very special.
It is.